Hi everyone, I'm Nia and I'm the national organizer at Familia Trans Queer Liberation Movement, and we are at Familia in El Sur, the second stop, Mississippi. We're here to connect with local grassroots organizations that are doing amazing things to uplift their communities here. We are here to learn, we are here to grow, we're here to heal. It's going to be amazing.
Me llamo Lorena Quiroz. Mis pronombres son ella, y estamos aquí en Jackson, Mississippi. Soy la directora de la organización la Alianza de Migrantes para Justicia y Equidad.
How long do you have being a part of this organization, and how did you come into organizing?
So I'm the founder of the organization. The organization officially after the raids, it's a result of folks that were organizing in Mississippi. We were the ones who actually called out to the press and put out the media advisory as a response to the raids. And so officially 2019, but prior to that, we existed to do some outreach through social justice.
I know you mentioned a bit about the raids, but if you can talk about them to folks that might not be aware of what went down in Mississippi, if you're open to that.
Yeah, so August 7th, I remember exactly where I was. I was on Congress Street in my office, and all of a sudden my phone started going off. And I was an organizer, so you're used to ping, 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 but it was just ridiculous. I was getting message on WhatsApp, texts were coming in, Facebook, and I was talking to my supervisor, and I was trying to, hey, something's going on, and they were like, you know, we're doing this, hold on. So I said, I gotta take care of this. I stepped outside, and all the things that were happening, and I immediately reached out to some of the leaders that were saying, ICE is here. ICE is here, sending the videos, the live videos on Facebook. They were showing me the live videos, look what's happening, and I'm like, what the hell, who, where? Those raids were Trump era raids. 680 people were, they were attacked while at work. It was the first day of school, so they had just dropped off their kids. Some of the folks that were going to work that day, you know, you had a couple dozen that said, we were on our way to work, but it was first day of school for my kids, so I stayed a little later. Or they had needed to get their shot, so I went to the health department. So the folks that were in those chicken plants were detained. They said that they had just arrived. Some of them had, just started to put on their uniform. Some of them had stepped outside, and they heard the helicopters. And then ICE came in con ametralladoras, right? And just treated everybody like criminals, chased people outside. People ran all over the place to hide, in the ice boxes. They went back in their cars. They shut everything in the surrounding area of the chicken plant. So it was the largest raids in the history of this country. It was demoralizing, it was painful, it was traumatic, and not only for the 680 people that were detained that day, but for their spouses, their children, their family members. Entire communities were devastated and hurt by those raids. And we're still feeling the repercussions of those raids, because even though we have a different administration that supposedly, was going to do something for, immigration reform. Just a week ago, we just had one of the folks that was detained during the raids, that was in detention for over a year, that was deported, whose families suffered tremendously, that we campaigned and actually were able to reunite. They were detained on a regular ICE check-in. And so those things are triggering to those of us that were so closely tied to the individuals. I mean, even as a community, even though you weren't there, people were feeling it in other parts of the state. So this happening again, ICE picking up individuals again, is triggering, and it really brings to light the trauma that we've been carrying and that's been dormant for the last 3 years.
Hi, my name is Jess Manriquez. My pronouns are they, them, and today I feel pretty good. So I am a lifelong Mississippian. My mom's family moved here from the Texas border many generations ago. My dad, he is an immigrant from Mexico.
Well, you mentioned having grown up as a queer, non-binary person here in Mississippi. Can you tell me a little bit about how that was like for you and how it's informed a lot of your work today?
Well, it's been very lonely, to be honest, and I can't really separate my Latini dad from my queer and non-binariness, I guess I would say. But I kind of grew up without, obviously, a queer trans community to be with, and I grew up also without a Latinx community, so I feel like I only know how to be queer and non-binary through a very American and white kind of lens, because that's what I grew up around in Cleveland. But it wasn't until I was in my mid to late 20s that I found other queer and trans Latinx folk. Those spaces are so magical, the spaces that we experience at Mantente and that Mantente creates, and at Creating Change there was a Latinx breakout session. I want that so bad here in Mississippi. I want a brown Latinx and Afro Latinx as well. I've seen it in North Carolina, I've seen it in California, I've even seen it in Tijuana, but here in Mississippi, I feel I'm not really part of that. I have to find my people here. So, yeah.
My name is Autumn Brown. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm feeling really refreshed today, honestly. My relationship to Mississippi is, this is my home place. This is where I was born, this is where I grew up, and this is where I am. This is where my community is. And when I look at Mississippi, I see a lot. I see love mostly. It's a lot of nature. It's built on a lot of relationships, a lot of camaraderie. So yeah, that's my relationship with Mississippi. I came here today because I wanted to learn more about healing justice and healing in general. I've been wanting to look more into it, been wanting to get in tune with more spiritual practices, but I didn't know where to start. So I was thinking this is a great place to start, especially with the queer aspect, because there's not many places for that here. For me, my queer experience in Mississippi has been rocky. We're also in the South, the Bible Belt, and that's not appropriate to a lot of people. So I grew up not wanting to be queer and, denouncing it because I was a Christian as well in the church of my parents. So yeah. And once I became a teenager, started being around more people, in school and everything. And I started noticing people, expressing themselves in the ways that they like to. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. So yeah, I started to be around those people more. And I started to understand it's okay, I can be myself. Even if I couldn't do it at home, I had somewhere to do that, you know what I mean? So I think it's come from there. And I'm finding more queer spaces the more I come into myself. So I'm really thankful for that. The only thing I would ask for folks to be aware of is not blaming the people, not having contempt and blame for the people who are here experiencing these events and these tragedies. A lot of times people blame us because they feel like we vote in our government and they're Republican here, so they feel like it's our fault. But forgetting that there's other people here, you know what I mean? And yeah, I would just say have some grace, have some patience, and have a more wider view of everything.
No, I hear that.
Something that I would like to tell the queer community is, we here. We here, we always been here, we always gonna be here. So just do your best to live in that and to be you and to, live the happiest, most fulfilling life you can. Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got this in because this has been a really great experience for me.
So my name is Darius Nelson. My pronouns are they and them. I was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi, and I have my mom's side of the family is born and raised in Mississippi, in Marks and Mendenhall, so the Delta in like southern Mississippi. So yeah, that's my relation. I care about Jackson deeply. I don't want to leave this place, so yeah.
Any message or anything you'd like to say to queer or trans community, kinship, anything you'd like to share?
Yes. First of all, you are not alone. Specifically, this is to the youth, but this is to anybody who has not found their groups of people. They are there, and they are waiting for you, and you don't have to wait on them per se to come to you. You can make that space yourself. And I know that's scary that we're navigating like an uptick in fascism, now. But I think that it is important to recognize that queer and trans people have always existed, and we will continue to always exist. And it doesn't really fucking matter about a damn law that they make. Like, you can outlaw queer and trans, and sure, but like that doesn't mean you get to outlaw our existence, and we're gonna still be here. And so just keeping in mind that like literally your existence is resistance, and you are enough. You are trans even if you don't transition. You are queer even if you haven't experimented with your queerness, and there are people who love you for you. Like, truly. Stop. Like, end the sentence.
Damn, that was beautiful. Like, young me would appreciate hearing that.
This is very nice because my name means gentle rain. So like in my element. So my name is Sherazard Tiffany Marie Lee Crippen, pronouns she, her. And what was the last thing?
How are you feeling today?
How am I feeling today? I am feeling nervous and playful. So I'm here for the Immigrant Alliance for Justice and Equity in Mississippi. We held a healing justice training for their employees and for queer folks in the area, and it was like really, really beautiful.
What got you into healing justice?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say when I first started organizing, everything felt super urgent and like everything demanded my attention personally, and that was a surefire way, one-way path to burnout. And I watched everyone really burn out around me during the Charlotte uprising. That was really tough, watching a lot of BIPOC queer folks put their bodies on the line, go to, be locked up over and over again, dealing with mental health issues and housing instability. And it felt like our movements could not be sustainable unless we did a focus on healing justice as its own organizing effort. When we look historically at when we've had revolutions that have been successful, or even movements that have been like long-lasting, like multi-year campaigns, religion or some type of spirituality has been central, not a side dish, but a central part of that. So we look at the Haitian Revolution, you have Voodoo, right? People were really able to get their confidence, right, and get their community together through this, that I don't think that revolution would have been possible without it, right? Jamaican uprisings and Obey, that was a very central part to getting people ready and feeling confident to go and take on what seemed like an insurmountable task, right? And we can even do the civil rights movement. Baptist religion was, what would the civil rights movement be without the Baptist religion? So it's not like, oh, this supports organizing. It's like, this is a huge part of the organizing. Religion and spirituality organize people naturally, right? Because everyone's looking for that support in their spirit. So I think somewhere along the way, as people have been dealing with religious traumas and the ways that religions haven't supported queer bodies, that we started to distance ourselves so hard that we kind of like lost sight of how that is a tie that binds. And I think that's sad, and something that we can easily, start to address, as long as we're aware that we're not gonna all subscribe to the same thing like in times past. So I'm like really passionate about and linking with people who are thinking about what does it look like for us to be in an interfaith and an interspiritual kind of movement and this time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful. Jackson has been amazing. It's been wonderful being here, connecting with community. And I would say that's a wrap, but see you at our third stop, Louisiana, and catch you on the flip side.